Hello everyone and welcome to Call It Crits. And tonight's session of Call It Crits is going to be a little bit different. We have 2 players down, and most of the things that I had planned, I'm gonna leave for the new year, and we're gonna have a little bit of a roleplay heavy session tonight, followed by very possibly a little bit of a chat and a bit of a reminisce of the year that we've had and everything that's happened since the beginning of 2022. I think that might be quite nice just to go over what's happened, because actually 2022 has been quite an eventful year for Call It Crits, I have to say. So especially considering it was actually the 2022 that we started the stream as well, wasn't it? So yeah, and everything. I think Fran, you also joined us in 2022, wasn't it? Yeah. So we've had lots happen, which we can discuss after we've done a little bit of the story, minus Mulrin and Ayla, who aren't with us today. So
that's the guy who is relevant to the plot and the guy that knows what's going on.
Yeah, pretty much. Yes.
Cool.
Two of the big story-centric characters at the moment aren't here.
Mm-hmm.
So
yep.
yeah. So it's I think it's probably wise not to not to do it without them. That wouldn't be fair. So
they come back next week and just like the village is on fire. What happened? I don't know.
Literally the scene from Community.
There was a spider. I think I got it. So, last week on Call It Crits, I genuinely need help because my mind is going a blank.
Okay.
Flash forward thing, wasn't it?
Yes. The session started when Grinks, Raljin, and Ayla was shown a vision of the future. And in it, Ayla was at a coronation, and there was an assassination. But it was all just an illusion.
An illusion caused by the lonely mist. Yes.
And we found out,
go on.
We found out the illusion was conjured by Ayla's aunt.
Yes. Another sort of theme that I'm going on with Ayla, revealing relatives. So, and to be honest, it kind of fits with Ayla. I think if this were a TV show, that would have been expected. That another family member would sort of crawl out of the woodwork. But yes, Ayla's biological aunt, or sister to his mother, was the one that caused it. And for the main reason being, and that she explained, is that she doesn't want him to go through with it because none of the people from the tribes, or not from the kingdom, have lasted long on the throne, and she believes that his reign will be no different. So it was kind of a way to try and protect him, to try and make him change his mind, to try and sway him. But from generally what happened towards the end of the session, I don't think his mind is changing. I think he's still wanting to go for this, which is interesting. So yeah, what else happened? Sal, what were you and Mulrin up to in that time as well?
We went to the library, and yeah, it was great. Mulrin found out a lot of cool things, and I helped him. I was also there.
You were there.
I contributed very little, and that was fine. You know what? Maybe I could just say I was Mulrin's bodyguard.
Yeah.
Very dangerous reading. So
you did a lot of assisting with the reading, though. So I can just imagine, like, while Mulrin's pouring through all the books, you're like randomly pointing at words.
Yes, look, that one's really low. What does that spell?
Anti-establishmentarianism.
I don't. What? What is that?
This
Some
one's got
sort of
pictures in it.
mimic?
We stab it with fire.
Oh, excellent. My
Wait.
favourite type of stabbing.
I mean,
I do have a list.
So, yeah, it pretty much got up to a point where the end of the session was a nice calm one, wasn't it? We didn't have any cliffhangers. you all just went back to the Blushing Branch Inn and you rested.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's pretty much everything that happened in the previous session. Oh, and we reached 30 followers. That was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was that was pretty
Sal
cool.
finally got the ring.
Oh, yes.
Oh
I
yes,
got
gifts
so
were
lovely.
given. Like this, it's
Yeah,
like some sort of
baby
festive
ring.
season where
It's
gifts are
almost
given.
like it's Christmas.
Yeah.
Wow, it's like it was planned. It wasn't, but it was
Yeah.
like it was planned.
Like it was.
Yeah, I had to really piss on my chips there. I could have played that off as complete cladding.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, no, sorry.
Having his own plan.
Sorry, totally planned. Yeah.
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 Planned.
Yeah. Of course.
So yeah, so that was pretty much things happened. I think you went. Oh yeah, Ralston, you went to go visit Waynir with the woodworkers.
Oh yeah, I
and
ended up with a fanboy.
Yeah, he completely fanboyed over
yeah.
you. Because you know you are the owner of the Whitewood. Well, your father is the owner of the Whitewood estate. You know you have an unlimited supply of Whitewood, and he wants a piece of that pie. So he's you're going to pass on your father. Well, you think you said you can pass on your father's details, and you can put in a good word for him. He might be able to save up enough money to buy another scrap piece of wood. And to be honest, in Waynir's hands, a small piece of whitewood would that could have some. He could make something very very special with that. So, you know, he's a rarity. Is Waynir being able to craft weapons purely out of wood and have them be just as effective and strong as weapons made out of metal. So, you know, possibly someone to keep an eye on. So, right. So we'll get into tonight's session. So you guys, you all wake up in the Blushing Branch Inn. It's the morning comes and you're all fully rested. It's the date is the next day.
Oh.
The date is the date is the next day. It's the next day apparently. I'm going to get the date up. The date is. God, is it only that date?
Yeah.
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 What?
So it was. It's. The date is now. It's the first day of Miris Tetra. So it's a new month. It's a new month. It's the first day of Miris Tetra. Time
flies.
It's sort of a is it springtime? It's kind of coming into springtime-ish. So the weather's getting slightly warmer, and especially here in the Elladel, with the vast sort of myriad of trees and plant life and things like that. You can tell spring's kind of coming into fruition. The buds and the on the trees and the leaves starting to come into bloom on a lot of the deciduous trees in the area. Springtime is definitely here, and the birds you can hear tweeting outside your glassless, paneless windows. And it's not too cold either. It's quite warmish this morning, nice and mild. As you wake up, and you've all had your own rooms here. So there are quite small rooms, nothing but a bed, a cupboard, and a basin. There is a shared sort of like toilet area on the ground floor. So you might manage to get like a decent, nice sleep. I'm assuming Ralston, you'd probably actually. Who would be the first one to wake up out of you three? Because one, I've got paranoid, I've got probably never sleeps, and I've got early riser. Which one of you is awake?
I'd say Sal would probably be the first one up. Maybe Grinks if Grinks hasn't been drinking, but
That's a big if.
yeah.
Well, yeah. After last session, it was a heavy night.
Yeah.
He was staying over he was sleeping in an inn as well. I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, you leave me with alcohol, it's going to happen. This is right about you guys.
How big are the windows?
They've got wooden wooden crosses in them, so the actual windows would be big enough to crawl through if the wooden cross wasn't there. They do open, but they are locked. There's no key around, but I mean, I guess you do have the obsidian lockpick, so.
Yes.
So there is like a little
yeah.
keyhole on them, so if you could actually push them open if you managed to unlock it.
Yeah, I'm gonna unlock the window.
Okay, give me a proficiency roll. It'll be dexterity plus your proficiency plus I don't know.
Oh well.
Yeah.
It's not actually that good. Hang on, I need to get my character sheet up.
It's
We worked
only
out it was like a plus
Yeah.
9 or something
Yeah.
off the top of it. It was
Oh,
like you
plus
double
9.
proficiency. It's something
Oh
ridiculous.
well, then it's like 15.
Oh,
That's enough though. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean you're quite good at lock picking, and a 15 is enough to unpick a rudimentary lock like this. It's not like a jail cell. Sorry, chocolate on my biscuits.
Yeah, those are relatively easy to be fair.
Yeah. So yeah, you managed to sort of like a few clicks, and you managed to sort of like crack the rudimentary lock without breaking it, and sort of like push the window. It kind of opens like forwards and goes upwards, and then there's like a little stick that holds it open.
Yeah, excellent. Let's see. Whose is the nearest room to mine?
I'm going to say for the purposes of this, left and right. To your left is Raljin, to the right is Grinks.
Excellent. I'm going to climb out of the window and go left,
Okay.
and I'm going to knock on the next window across. Would you like me to roll a dexterity check or acrobatics?
I'm going to say for this one, it will be athletics because you are climbing. So you're climbing unless of course you're saying you're going to leap from one window ledge to the other, in which case I will say acrobatics.
Well, I might do that because I have an entire 10 points difference in the two.
Okay, do that. So you kind of hang down from one window and then kind of jump across and sort of leap across and grab hold of the other window ledge. Give me.
Oh, this is such a stupid idea. I don't know why I did it. And then I rolled a 1. Oh no!
Oh no!
So I die doing something stupid just because I wanted to annoy Raljin by knocking on his window.
It's Ashken Estate all over again.
It is.
Oh.
It is. You never have luck with this. So...
I don't know why I did it again. It's not even in Ashenoak. So now complete strangers are going to see me fall over.
So, hang on, I need my dice. So,
Oh god, what floor were we on?
your second story.
boy.
Sorry. There's ground floor, like first floor. It's a 10-foot drop. So you go to you sort of go to jump across, and your fingers go to grab hold of the window ledge, and you slip. You go to try and grab the cross in the middle of the window and slip and fall down to the ground into the rose bushes below. You just take 4 points of bludgeoning damage as you hit the floor, and you have some scratches on you from the thorns of the rose. And Raljin, because these are windowless, these are painless windows. There's no glass on them. You hear what would probably be a shock and surprise of outside your window, and then a thud.
You know exactly what it is.
Yeah.
I walk over to the window.
Can I roll to quickly get myself upright and make it look like I'm examining the roses?
Okay. So give me. It would be either performance or deception.
Oh god. Oh no. Oh. I rolled another 1. That's away forever.
Okay, so you're struggling now. This, for some reason, you were able to deftly dodge in and out of like poisonous poisonous thorns when you first met the party. These deadly things that that could kill you at the single prick. You manage to dodge those, but a rose bush you're struggling to even crawl out of as you kind of like, you like some are like caught on your clothes, some was like wrapped around your leg, and you kind of pull yourself out. And just as Raljin and Lynx both sort of look out the window, they see you just kind of trip and fall on your backside just in front of the rose bush, and you've got like a rose sort of like just behind your ear that's kind of pulled out.
You know what the first thing they'll see when they look at me with my feet in the air? The spider climb shoes that I did not use to get to that I've just remembered I have.
Oh, my side hurts. My side hurts. Oh no.
Oh, Sal.
Oh
you
dear.
naughty.
Oh, that is classic Sal. So yeah, that's the vision that you see below the window there, Raljin.
You see a leg coming out of a bush, and the rest of me coming out from the bottom of the bush.
Morning, Sal.
Yes.
Do you want to meet me downstairs for breakfast?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just gonna pretend that this is normal. Bye.
I mean, it's happened twice. It is normal.
Well,
and yeah, so I leave the room, and despite knowing that Grinks is probably very hungover, I just knock on the door and I go, breakfast if you want it, sleep if you don't, and then I just go downstairs.
Probably didn't hear a thing.
What is your passive perception, Grinks?
Oh, it's awful. It is 11.
11. No, you didn't hear that. You're still fast asleep. I mean, it's still not. It's not worse than Elaz, which is 9. But
I mean,
no.
The irony is Nick's probably heard it, but not me.
That explains so much about Ayla.
Oh dear.
So yeah, I go downstairs. And do I smell breakfast?
No. And as you're going downstairs, you don't smell anything, but you do hear what appears to be the sound of a couple arguing. One a very muffled male voice, which sounds like it's coming from a vent or something, and another from a female voice, which is very loud. What do you mean you didn't go out to the store and get any? I've got customers today. They're going to want to eat breakfast this morning. I don't want to hear any more about your breakthroughs. Just, can you get down to Vic's or not? And you just hear a sigh. Says, fine, just stay up there forever for all I care. And she turns around and sort of just kind of sees you just coming down the stairs. She's like, I'm sorry. Probably expecting breakfast. Turns out we are out of breakfast things. If you give me just a little while, I can go down to the store.
Could I at least get some tea?
That's the thing, is we're all out. I was going to. Well, I had a very busy day yesterday, and then I wanted, that man upstairs to go and get some. I tasked him with it, but apparently he's too busy in the middle of some sort of breakthrough. So now I've got nothing. Look, obviously I can't leave the hotel unmanned. Any chance you could go? I'll give you a little bit of extra gold so you can, buy yourself some of the specialty if you like. It's just down the road.
Well, I need to get my friend out of a rose bush, but
What, my rose bush?
I don't know. Probably. Yeah, sure. Okay. I mean, yeah, fine. I'll just wait here and wait for my friend, and then we'll go.
Okay, I'm so sorry to inconvenience you with this. I'll go and get the money and a little extra so you can get yourself something while you're there. and she just kind of goes off to like the counter and just behind in a door at the back for a little while. In the meantime, Sal, you'll probably sort of come around the front and sort of walk through the door, a little bit like Ed from The Lion King pulling thorns out of your backside. And yeah.
I am trying to perfect an air of just, I meant to do that. It's entirely part of the plan, and it's failing utterly.
You still have one of the roses just sort of stuffed behind your ear in your hair that you haven't picked out yet.
There is a rose in my hair, and I have somehow managed to get thorns on the inside of some of my clothes somehow.
Yeah.
It's just a mess.
Yeah.
As they walk over, I simply pull the rose from their hair and go, "Morning."
Morning. I think it's for the best if I don't sit down yet.
Okay. So, I mean, we have to go out anyway because the inn doesn't have breakfast, so we have to go get our own.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
But
fine.
plus side, we don't have to pay for it. They're giving us money to go grocery shopping for them.
Oh. So we don't necessarily have to come back.
Well, we are kind of staying here for the week, so yeah,
Oh, yeah.
we do.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
what we could do is buy ourselves some breakfast and then just come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay. I'll just let Sal think that they've come up with the plan, even though that was
Oh
already
no!
the plan.
Sorry, just to clarify, with all of the money.
No. No, I don't. Again, we have to stay here.
Right?
And I don't think it'll go down too well with the town and with Ayla if we go stealing from them.
Okay.
As you're having this conversation, just sort of coming to, you feel a kind of like a, and the building shakes slightly, and the pictures on the walls kind of rattle, and you hear cutlery falling off shelves, and some of the plaster from the ceiling kind of begins to fall down on like scatter onto the floor, and you hear a very loud profanity in Elvish coming from the room where what's she called? Renoin had gone, which is sort of almost like she's shouting upwards, and you just hear this loud profanity followed by the name Aphrodite.
Well, I don't think that was
Someone else
necessary.
fall out of a window.
She comes through like with just this angry straight face. Actually, when that explosion goes off, Grinks, it's enough to wake you up. As the room shakes and everything begins to shake around you for about 3 seconds, and then it kind of stops, and you feel like a bit of like plastic kind of flirt onto your face and hit you in the face.
I'm going to do what I would have done. I'm going to conjure a chromatic orb, and I'll hold it until I see something twitch. And
Okay.
then waste the spell.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
Oh, this tracks for today. That's 7 on dice with my perception. That's 8.
A bird
A
flies.
whole
A
eight.
bird flies past the window.
Uh-oh.
I fire at the bed.
Oh no! No.
Plus 6, that's 19 to hit.
Oh no. Okay. So
yeah.
this black bear just kind of like just innocently just found itself a worm and was flying back to its nest to feed its children, and you just go, you see it flying past, and you just go and fire this chromatic orb out the window through the sort of like wooden cross, out of smack this bird out the sky. Roll for damage.
So it would have been it would have been fireball. Well, it would have been fire. It wouldn't have been anything else.
Domesticated moss. It's good to see you.
So 15 points of fire damage.
Okay, that bed is a crisp. As you just blasted out of the sky.
Is Nyx there to judge you for destroying her kin?
I don't know. Well, is Nyx there to judge me?
This
wouldn't have been the first time.
Probably would not be the first time. No, you do get a little look from your shadowy companion, and you hear another you hear a profanity shouting from downstairs, and what you guys see downstairs is as Renoin is coming into the room after the explosion that's just happened, obviously caused by her husband, Alfredine. You also hear another and the kid just kind of like noise come from outside, and then she looks up and shouts and swears upstairs again, and then she just kind of composes herself and says, I'm sorry. He's always doing this. And people tell me, why don't I just leave him? And I just say, well, because I obviously love him, and I'm not going to get into my backstory. Just here's enough gold. If you could just tell Vic that it's the collection for the Blushing Branch, and he'll know what you mean. He should give you a few parcels of meat, and then whatever's left over, feel free to spend on whatever you like. It's payment, and of course breakfast will be. You can have breakfast on it as well. It's fine. There's enough meat for the day. So yes, breakfast is on me, or on him if he doesn't stop making that noise.
Can I ask what it is that he's doing?
He claims that he is a master alchemist, and that he is one day going to perfect the perfect machine to, I don't know, I kind of tune out at that point. He likes reading these old books that he'd found, and he's been tinkering around with these contraptions that I've never really understood. To be honest, it's his man cave, and I'm just staying out of it. But obviously, if he destroys my tavern, then we'll be having words.
Sal will kind of lean in and very quietly say, if you do need someone to deal with him for you, let me know.
She looks at you and she goes, and then she kind of taps her nose and goes, maybe I'll be in touch. And she gives a giggle as if she's joking.
Yeah. If she looks over at me, if she looks over at me, she just sees me shaking my head slowly from side to side, like not a joke.
Hang on a second. Insight roll.
Sal is also laughing, but yeah, it's kind of the laugh of like, oh yes, we are on the same page.
She's laughing jokingly. You're laughing as if you're on the same page. You're shaking your head, and she looks at.
Wants to pay me to do this.
She looks at you with a 15, and just kind of, her laugh kind of trails off a little, and she goes, Okay, Vix is just down the road, and if you hurry, then we can get you some food cooked up in the kitchen.
Okay.
Probably appear at the top of the stairs by this point, bleary-eyed, still putting my arms in my coat.
Morning, sunshine.
Is it? I'm just gonna stomp down the stairs.
You see Renoin give you a knowing look, and as if she's seen that look before, she says, if you hurry back from Vix, I'll get you some hair of the dog.
Oh, I'm gonna go over to her, give her a great big hug. You are an angel of mercy. I just give her a kiss on the forehead, and then walk over to the party.
Okay.
Poor woman.
Yep.
All of the men and others in her life, all conspiring on her today.
I like the fact that Raljin's the babysitter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that, so does Ralgin.
He's the youngest, yet he's the babysitter. I found that hilarious.
Yep.
Oh dear. Okay. Oh,
We are level 9.
yeah, we are level 9. I was hoping to get them up to 10 today, but we're 2 men down. I don't want to level them up when they're men down. So it'll probably end up being the new year because this is our last one before Christmas.
Do you mean to tell me that that last encounter with that blackbird has not given us an extra level up? I'm
No,
shocked.
sorry, it's not enough. Only just not enough though. If you killed 2 blackbirds, then maybe you'd be level.
We have a
Challenge.
run out the door.
Kill all the blackbirds in town.
I do like ravens. I'd be a bit adverse to that.
Yeah, fair enough. Maybe if we get breakfast quick enough, it'll count. The quest.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
So, you walk out into the streets and you head on down towards Vic's the butcher's to get some of the food, the meats, and he also does. It's not just a butcher; he does other things as well. He kind of supplies the breakfasts to people as well as the tavern. So you do get the teas and the coffees, the bread, and everything. He kind of has the whole stock there. When you get there. It's kind of like it's a plain-fronted store with some like animal carcasses. You're not quite sure what. Actually, Raljin, you probably have a better idea. Some deer carcasses and some hog carcasses already hanging up over what appears to be some sort of it's like a mist that's kind of coming up, and you can imagine that's probably keeping them cool. And within the window, it's almost like a display. Their heads are actually there as well, just on display as well, which is gross. But yeah, you you walk on him, and you see Vic the butcher. He's a larger elf. He's got
He's got tall or rotund?
Rotund, more of a rotund elf. He's still quite tall, but he's a little bit more rotund in terms of like he's got a bit of a belly. And sort of like broader shoulders to go with. You notice on his left hand he has 3 of his fingers missing, so he's just kind of got this L shape on his left hand, and it's kind of one of the first things you notice when you see him as he's putting one of the sort of like putting some meats down on his table and chopping, and you can probably guess how he lost those fingers. He has a bald head, which is unusual for an elf, and he kind of looks up at you with his brown eyes, and sort of above his dark bushy-ish eyebrows. Hello. How may I help you?
Hi. We're here for the order for the Blushing Branch Inn.
Oh. Sure. I can get that for you. Have you got the gold?
I hold it up and throw it across.
Oh, thank you. Very well. He kind of looks in. Now this seems like Renoin's. There's a little extra in here.
Yeah. I would like to use my. I'm not sure what sort of skill it'd be as a ranger.
All of it?
What are you trying to do?
I'd like to judge which of the meats that are on display are the best cuts.
I mean, you could still use that as a nature check. And domesticated moss, please don't give them ideas about killing 2,100 birds in the town of Eladel, please.
We have a nice goal.
Apparently, if you were going to do XP, you would need to kill 2,100 birds to get the amount of XP needed to level from level 9 to level 10.
I accept your challenge.
The Great
Al is
Queensland
standing outside the
2022.
butchers, staring at the sky.
Just get your crossbow. Ah, there's one.
Ah,
Okay, I'm gonna roll now.
that wasn't even a
Yeah. You
blackbird.
roll. Make your nature check. See if you got the best cuts. Then you can see the best
Okay.
cuts.
Raljin, I've just sent you a message.
Yeah, I saw. Don't worry.
Has Jay just told you what all the best cuts are?
Nope.
Oh, right, okay.
So nature check. 23.
23. Right, I'm gonna Google because I don't know what best cuts of meat are.
You could just say he points out the best cuts.
So, yeah, but I like to be descriptive. I like to cuts of meat. So as you're having a look around, you notice. I guess it does depend of what animal. Yes. So you see some nice bits of flank steak, some T-bones, some round steaks, some sirloins, some nice bits of meat sort of hanging around, and you're able to point the different ones out. If you're if you're wanting to spend your gold on that, you could. It's entirely up to you.
I don't know.
Obviously, it doesn't keep for more than a day, unless it's kept cool.
Do you two want to get something here, or keep the money that we was given and
The money.
Okay.
I'll defer to you, kid. I just need a drink. And
If you could,
I'm gonna
sorry, go on.
cast Mage Hand.
Okay.
I'm gonna cast Mage Hand, and normally it's invisible, so I won't even pay attention to this. And I'm just gonna scratch my ass. But to everyone else, for the first time, you will see a purple hand literally scratching Grinx's ass.
Nice.
Okay.
You just see the butcher's face go. Make sure that doesn't touch any of the cuts after touching that. If you and it's kind of he hands over back to you, Ralston. Just tell Renoin she overpaid by 6 gold. Sorry. I can have the cuts ready. It's not all wrapped yet. I'm gonna have to just get it prepared. I would have had it done last night, but Afra didn't. He didn't come and collect it, so I didn't prepare it. Normally, for an order this large, I'd prepare it. It's fresher that way. If you want, you can wait outside, and I'll bring it out to you soon.
Okay, I guess.
Okay. I won't be more than maybe 10 minutes.
Alright. Okay, thank you.
So you head on outside and just sort of wait just outside the butcher's. The area that you're in, it's like a little courtyard. There's a little fountain, not a big one. It's more like a fountain that kind of goes over into a well, and there's a few other sort of like houses and shops and things are sort of around. Some of them you can tell are sort of like businesses. Some of you can tell are residents. There doesn't seem to be any specific residential areas in this area. It's like there's almost like a bit of a scatter. It's some grassland, and you can see there's a few sort of like elven children sort of playing around as well as there's a couple of people sitting on benches reading. It's really nice and peaceful, actually. Anyway,
Jay, just quickly remind me, did you recharge the spell storing?
Yes, I did, and I gave it to you.
You did.
When we was outside of the shop yesterday, and I gave you instructions on how to use it properly this time.
Yes. Now, oh god. So I need to. What do I tell Vidiana? Grinx.
Yeah.
So I want to send a message to my family about what we saw. You know what future Roland told us. Where do you think I should start? Because I don't have many words and I don't want to waste them.
Write them down. Write down what you need to say, and condense it if you can. I mean, are we okay for me to go and put some hours in on the magic shop today? You don't think anybody would mind? I mean, the only one we haven't checked with is Sal and Molrin. Do you think it would still be good for the gems?
I don't think Ayla will mind, and I think Mulrin will be a fan of anyone who wants to broaden their horizons, as it were.
So, do you have any objections to me using the party funds to go and get that book?
I don't have any objections to us using party funds. I would like us to get the 6 gold coins back from the Dutcher.
I've got them. It's fine. I've got them.
Okay. Good. No problem.
Sorry.
And Phil, just because I'm still concentrating on it, the mage hand will be following me behind,
Okay.
not actually doing anything. Have you seen Facebook?
I have, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Just as you guys are sort of stood outside and having this conversation around gems, you see 2 little elven children, or you don't see them at first. You hear them at first. You just hear, "No, you ask him. No, you. No, you. No, you ask him. No, I don't want to. It's your idea. You ask him." You see these 2 little elven children sort of coming over. They're probably no more than 8 or 9 years old. Or human-looking 8 or 9 years old. Elven's, well, actually, it's to a certain point it is the same.
Yeah.
And there was a boy and a girl, both elves, both kind of blonde hair, and look like they're wearing just like they're just kind of standard clothes, like green. One girl's wearing like a green dress with a little bow tied in it. The lad's wearing sort of like not overall, what's the word, like dungarees style clothes, and little leather shoes. And they both look real sheepish, and they're both looking, and specifically, well, actually, at all of you, but like kind of like they look like they're looking at Raljin more. Want to ask, like they're sort of debating whether to ask you something. Right. And the lad, who appears to be slightly older than the girl, just goes, "Excuse me."
Hi. Yes, hello.
Hi. See, me and my friends, and my sister, we were just over there, playing with the hoops, and we saw you, and we just wanted to know, like, why are you blue?
I'm Drow. Well, half Drow. My dad's human, and my mum is Drow.
They kind of look really confused. Like, so when you drown, does that make you really cold?
No, Drow. Well, I'm an underelf. Have you heard of underelves?
I think so. I think they taught us about that in school.
Yeah. So, my family, my mum's family, live in a place called the Underdark.
Okay, I've heard of the Underdark. I'm
Yeah,
told
so
not to go there, and it's never to go there.
And my dad's family are from the surface, like you, and I live in both places.
Oh. Okay. And then they kind of look at the 2 of you and say, "Are you 2 drown elves as well?"
Yeah, there was a definite drowning there. Yes.
Oh.
Yes. We are. Why are you pink?
I know this. It's because my mum was pink and my dad was pink. Well, actually, I have a little bit of gold shimmer. And he kind of like turns his head towards the sun, and you see there's a slight, like ever so slight shimmer as he looks real proud of the slight gold tint to his skin.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look over at Raljin and kind of gesture. Does he want me to get rid of them?
No.
No, not in that way. It's just you was.
Sorry. Yeah. So that's why I'm blue, and that's why he's a darker blue, and that's why they're grey.
Oh, thank you for answering my questions. I'm sorry to have bothered you. Oh, come on then. And he kind of turns around and goes to run back over to his friends and kind of tells them all about what he's just said. And you hear one going, "I can't believe you asked." Right, and then you hear a call from inside the butcher's. Say, it's ready. If you want to come and get it.
Okay. Right. I go back inside and I pick it up. And yeah.
Okay. Just tell Rhiannon I've just chucked a couple of extra sausages in there. It's just just because I just had a few extra lying around. Okay. I'll see you soon. Hopefully.
Okay.
Maybe.
So on the way back, I would like to cast. It's message, isn't it? It's not sending.
Sending.
Oh,
Sending.
it's sending.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Message is short distance.
Right, yeah. So send. I cast sending, and I say, Mum, while in the Feywild, we had a warning from the future that Ashen Oak will be attacked by a dragon. I've counted out. It's 21 words.
Okay, no, that's fine. I've got to count out for a reply, haven't I? You get a response. So just say yours again if you had it written down.
Mum, while in the Feywild, we had a warning from the future that Ashen Oak will be attacked by a dragon.
Okay, 1 second. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, plenty. Oh, more than enough, or less than enough, if in this case. You get a response in your mother's voice again, which is still weird to comprehend for you because you haven't heard a voice in such a long time since you lost it. Really? What colour dragon? Who gave you this warning? Are you safe in Elladel? And that's the response that you get.
I can't reply.
Okay.
I have slots.
Sorry,
Before we do anything else, can you just remind me what it is last week that about dragons that we found out? Because I can't remember what it was we found out last week that made us remember about the dragon thing.
Okay. So last week, Moran was doing reading, wasn't he? Around the whole thing.
Poison, wasn't it?
Yeah. What Sal had specifically found out.
And in character, I only remembered the poison thing.
Yeah.
It was about the dragon. Okay, cool.
So what you had done
to Vix, and I go, "Oh, sorry. By the way, do you have any haytack mushrooms? I know they're underdark mushrooms, but it mean a lot."
I'm really sorry. I don't actually have any of those. I know where to get them from. If that's any constellation, but we've been warned not to venture in through the caves at the moment. Something's been
Okay.
attacking people, so we're not heading that way at the moment.
well,
Shortage on supply.
What's the Do you have anything with a bit of a spice, bit of a kick to it?
Plenty of
seasoning herb.
plenty of spices. I have this. It's called. You got some chili spices, and other things. If that's what you're wanting.
Well, haytacks are really quite spicy. So anything kind of that strength.
I mean, of course. I might have something called a ghost pepper. Want to try one of those?
Sure.
Okay. I only have 3 left in store. They're quite expensive. They're 3 silver each. If that's what you want, I can certainly sell you 1 or 3 of those.
3 silver, sure.
So you want all 3?
Yeah.
Okay, that'll be 9 silver, please.
All right.
1 each, guys.
Yeah. I slap down 1 gold piece and go. I'm glad Sal's not here because I go keep the 1 silver. It's fine.
Thank you. Dear. And you take it gives you a little glass jar with 3 of these almost blood red peppers inside, floating inside a yellowish liquid that's it's like a preservative, basically.
I run back to the others and I go, guys. The guy in the shop said that these are as strong as haytack mushrooms.
Oh my gosh, I haven't had one of those in ages.
Oh, yeah, it's been years. So yeah, I'll have just sent the message, Phil.
Okay, and I'm just concocting a reply.
So we're all just going to have one of these right now, right?
Oh no, I was thinking, right, what we could do is we could get them to make it up in like a soup and get Mulrin and Ayla to try some.
You're torturing their characters when they're not here.
Okay. Sal is like super up for doing it to Ayla, and there's a kind of respect for their elders that means that they are almost like scandalized by the idea of doing it to Mulrin.
He's from the Underdark, he'll be fine.
Okay, so he's probably had one before,
But what the thing is that you two think it's a prank. Raljin just wants to share a delicacy. He hasn't thought this through.
Yeah, the idea of hot food, the people I've been traveling with don't generally do spicy food, so this is going to be amazing.
Okay, but is there enough for all of us?
Oh yeah, I can make up. I mean, yeah, I don't see why not.
And they have the same. Do they have the same kind of musty taste that the mushrooms have?
I don't know. The guy just said it was really hot, really spicy.
Ah.
Just as you're saying this, Grinks, you get a response from Vidiana saying...
I'll speak it out loud as
Okay.
it comes in.
The only blue dragon I know of is Zemin, the Taker of Life. I can't recall any living green dragons. I'll do some research. And that literally puts me up to my limit.
I'll relay that.
Okay. So I guess we go back to the Blushing Branch and.
Well, I'm going to take the gems, if you don't mind. I think Ayla gave them to you to hold.
Oh yeah, I mean, you don't want breakfast first?
Hair
Yeah,
of the dog.
okay. Breakfast first, and then I need to start working. I've got a week's worth of work to do. I've not worked, God, since the academy. Oh, this is not going to be fun.
Oh dear. I can't remember what voice I used for Maldor. Anyway. I've
Your
got a...
snooty voice.
Oh yes, it was rather snooty. Possibly. You get to back to the bush and branch. I'll say for a little bit of brevity's sake, you deliver the meats, and you are, eventually she cooks it all up for you, and you are given a nice breakfast, free of charge because you did the errand. And you are brought a couple of pints of ale, Grinks, just to tide you over. Anything else? As she gives you the second one, she says, anything else you're going to have from here is going to have to be paid for, I'm afraid. But thank you for going out and doing the shopping. It's more than I can get him to do. And you just kind of, you hear, as she kind of says it, the building kind of shudders slightly. Not a big explosion this time, but this kind of shudders.
I can make the problem disappear for you if you want.
Sal raises an eyebrow.
She looks at you, and then looks at Sal, and looks at Raljin.
Again, just a slow shake of the head, like not joking.
It's
No,
so.
you're giving me food. It would be a favour. I would consider it a favour. You know, if you want.
I'm okay, thank you. Though, I saw your two friends this morning. They were heading out. They seemed to be heading towards the Chrysanthemum Chateau. I don't know what for, but you know.
Family stuff. No. That sounds like a drama.
I tap the jar and I go, later.
God. Oh, I can just see tonight's session ending with you serving them some sort of soup, and then we starting the next session with them eating the soup.
Excellent. Excellent. Perfect. Perfect. Let's start 2023 right.
And it will serve them right if they don't watch the stream to find out what's going to happen to their characters.
Yeah.
It's completely on them.
Yep.
Go on, Jeff.
I would like to talk to Grinks very quickly and just explain what was her name? Renoy.
Renoin.
Yeah, Renoin said to me about her husband having some books of magic upstairs and some sort of arcane thing that he was working on. If Grinks was interested in going to talk to the guy, either that or he's going to be more Mulrin's area.
Well, I think, you know, if you mentioned that, yeah, maybe Mulrin, but yeah, I think we could possibly poke my nose in before we go. That sounds good.
I mean, it's not going to be anything to me, but you might find it useful.
Oh, I mean, could always be useful to everybody. You know, I mean, if we could get hold of another one of those spell storing rings somewhere, you know, that could open up options for everybody. Just think, Sal, I could store a spell that could make you completely invisible. Yeah. So, while we're talking, I'm going to cast Mage Hand again and reach for the jug to pour the ales out for us, to top us all up.
Have you washed that?
Washed. And you see Grinks' face drop, and his skin colour goes pale, almost as pale as Raljin's.
Ooh, that's pale.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can see the hand.
That's new. Oh.
Wait, what? You didn't just have that showing on purpose. I thought it was like some sort of, I don't know,
I'm gonna
alpha male thing or something.
No. I'm gonna
It
start
wasn't
rummaging through
successful.
a bag, and I'm gonna be flicking through my spell book, and just for the next minute or so, I'm gonna get more and more panicked.
Oh my god! So I literally assumed that you were just doing it out of like, lol, it'll be funny if they watch me.
He scratched his ass all game. You know, in the mornings. It's a construct. It disappears. You know, it's a new one every time. That's
Oh,
what we
wow. It's good to know.
Well, yeah. But yeah, no, there's definite panic on Grinx's face right now.
Oh dear.
I mean,
if it makes you feel any better, the only people who saw it were us and the butcher guy.
and anyone who was passing in the street.
Oh yeah, probably those small children.
Yeah.
Not while you were scratching your crotch, hopefully not.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was surprised that they only asked us about our skin tone, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Is that a tradition of the drowned elves to scratch their own bottom? Or however they put it.
Finger up to the teachers.
Oh, you don't want to put a finger up when you're scratching your own.
Sorry.
Don't knock it till you've tried it, Sal.
Oh
You're going to always set me up for this. I will run into it screaming.
What is this session?
Sal is going to drop this conversation before they reveal anything about themselves.
Oh dear. I love it. I love it. Oh dear.
Not a problem, guys.
Why?
What is the problem?
Stuff's missing. Pages are missing. I'm just going to put my spell book down in front of me.
What do you mean pages are missing?
They've gone.
Been torn out?
Doesn't look like it. They're gone. And I'm going to gesture towards the mage hand. The part that makes that invisible is gone.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I'm a bit of a magic illiterate. What exactly does? What?
I don't understand.
So, the mind, the mortal mind, can only hold so much data in it at any one time. So, in the morning, when you see me going through my book, I am teaching myself the spells I'm going to be using for that day. I have to copy spells down into the book for them to last. There's pages missing.
Someone stole your spells?
Don't know.
Oh, that's.
I'm. Yeah.
Maybe your friend at the shop will know how it's happened.
I might mention it at the end of the week. I need the book first. That's more important. I don't want him to think he's getting a defective mage.
Oh. I mean, it's not defect. Try some other things. Try some other.
So I'll go through my cantrips. So I'll use Mage Hand, minor illusion. I'll conjure a golden goblet on the table. I'll look out the window and do fireball.
Mm-hmm.
I presume in the inn there's a fire going.
Yes.
I'll change the fire silver.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put 4 tiny dancing lights, one on each corner of the table.
Mm-hmm.
I'm missing message, friends, and command.
Oh.
When
did you last see them?
Been a while since I've used them. I don't know. I think I'm broken. I might need to speak to Walrin a little bit on this one.
Okay.
Broken? Yeah.
I'm just gonna reach for the drink, pass the mage hand, and just glug.
Huh. Okay. Hey, so do you need, do you want us to come with you to the shop, or do you, what?
If you want, I mean, I might be there all day. You might just set me to work. I don't know what he's going to want me to be doing specifically. He said copying spells, so I don't know what he's going to want me to do. I imagine I'll be back by about nightfall. If you need me, you know where I'm going to be. Keep Nick's, and I'll have Nick's perch on Sal's shoulder. If you need me, she knows where to find me. And I'm
Okay.
gonna slink off like a dog with its tail between its legs.
Okay,
Oh.
we'll come back to you shortly. Rajan and Sal, is there anything you two are going to be doing in the interim while Grix is going to do some work?
Yeah. I go. Hey, Sal.
Yeah.
I know you're quite a guarded person, so I don't expect you to tell me much about your past. But the Drow society that I grew up with is quite different from the one that I think you maybe grew up around. I was just wondering if you could maybe tell me a bit about, Rolf society, because my parents, my family, they always talk about it with, shall we say, regret.
Well, it's certainly different from society in your town. To be honest, but I don't know that much about what society in Elistray worshipping towns is like, but I could tell you a bit about Monolari.
And I can, if you want, I can tell you about Neloon.
I'd like that. Yes.
Okay.
Where do you want to start? What
So
do you want to know?
now I know that traditional Lolth worship in Drow is a matriarchal society. And I've heard that there are sort of like ruling houses in sort of various levels of power.
Hmm.
And I was just wondering, is that hierarchy? I mean, how does it work? If the traditionalists are as bad as people say, then how do the top, how does it stay in power, the top house?
Well, the last time I was there were two houses. I won't say fighting for dominance. Something of a Cold War situation between the two. There was. I'm really quickly skimming through my notes.
It's all right.
There is House Drakar,
Mhm.
which you may know about, and House Dark Art, or Descartes.
Descartes.
Descartes. I forgot how it's
The one
pronounced.
that you're very familiar with.
Yeah, I'm very familiar. And you probably noticed that Sal kind of even hesitates to even say the name of that one. One of them, Drakkar, has most of its territory is the area at the highest point of Monolari that isn't underwater.
Or the lowest point, really. Oh yeah, the
The
highest
lowest.
point. Yeah, sorry, the highest point that isn't
yeah.
underwater. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
You're
So,
right. You are right. You're right.
Yes, thank you. And the other is located more in, what was the name of the other place? Ukatoa?
No,
No.
it's Okato. That's
Thing for
an evil
Critical
god.
Role.
Yeah, no, it's
Oh, sorry. So what you said about jesters made me thought about Critical Role.
you got to roll the tongue. Arangoth.
Urangoth, that's it, yes. Urangoth is the territory of the other. The way it worked before the Civil War is that there'd be small fights between some of the families. After the drowning, there were quite a few power shifts, and most of the power ended up either with Drakkar or the other one.
Descartes.
Oh no, I remember. It's just Sal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They usually keep their power by a mixture of subterfuge and carefully orchestrated murder.
Oh.
They send people out to do it.
Oh. So it is like my my mother and my aunt and my uncle said.
Probably. But let me tell you about another part of the city. There's not just the top tiers of the city, you see, there are also the lower tiers. There's an area that is just called the Weave. It's where the common folk live. The Greys, and some of the more unfortunate blue bloods that, you know, maybe the second son of a matriarch who didn't want him dead might end up down there.
Oh.
And that place is pretty good. It's good food. There's a lot of dancing. Very hand to mouth. Very sort of cutthroat. But not in the way that the upper tiers are like. More literal.
Right. Okay.
But it's nice.
Sounds
well,
delightful.
it's that's where I grew up, so I liked it. But then I was drafted into the Drakkar army when I was, let's see, 9? So, don't remember that much of it.
Wow.
I seem to have talked for a while, so tell me a bit about Neloon.
Well, Naloon is it's a bit different. I mean, we're trying to do away with the class system, I guess, that dominated the old ways. So we have a council, a council where each house has representatives, and there are noble houses with grey-blooded drow and blue-blooded drow. We even have a couple of other Underdark races, but it's mainly just drow. And of course, my dad, when he's there, we
He must have been bloody terrified first time he went down there.
Oh no, but you see, he actually met my mum on the surface. I'll tell you about that another time. But yeah, I mean, as I've said, we worship Alistrei, the forgotten daughter of Lolth, and she wants to bring unity to the Underdark and the Surface races. It's not an easy task, and it can be quite dangerous. But there's actually the second moon is there's a full moon in a few days, so I plan to pray to her, because that's when your voice reaches her the most clearly. She's the Lady of the Moon. Yeah, we don't have fighting pits. We've embraced the Service World traditions of festivals and carnivals, and there's still a long way to go. There is still some mistrust between the houses. I mean, it's only been, I don't know, it hasn't been too long in our terms, you know. For mortal humans, it's been a while, but we're getting there, and I think you might like it. You said you had a friend. Maybe they ended up there. Maybe they didn't. And if they didn't, you can you can show it to them sometime. I think they like that.
Yes. I mean,
Oh, sorry, excuse me.
the idea of there being grey-blooded nobles is... couldn't even imagine that in Monolari.
Yeah. Technically, my mum wasn't too thrilled with the idea, but she's technically the High Lady of the city, which means she has the most standing. She did fight against it, but the decision was unanimous, so she's taken the role on board.
Wow. I mean, we have other gods as well. We've got Veyron. That one's pretty popular. It's in Zarina. It's not all long all the time.
Oh no. But she, from what I understand, she's not exactly about unity, and more about, more about strength, I guess. More about the strong survive.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I guess that's how it goes, isn't it? Like, if you fail at something, you die. Or you don't die straight away.
I mean, you've spent a little time with this group now, you know how we all work together to survive and to achieve our goals in this little group?
Yes, to become strong.
Well, yeah, but that's how it is in Neilun. We all work together. Obviously there are disagreements at times, but everyone wants what's best for the city, not just for themselves.
Sal's DC'd.
Yep.
No. Well,
That was
just
awesome.
give them a second to come back. Oh, there they are.
Hello.
Hello.
You disconnected.
I disconnected. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Guys,
us.
Oh, Jin. It was me the whole time.
So yeah, basically what I'd said, I was explaining to Sal that it's a very similar idea in Neloon that the group comes together for the good of the group rather than the individual strength, and it's supporting others. That's what he's told them.
I think you're right about my friend. She would very much like that. She's very much of the thought of working together and helping people who are weak. She's
Well,
very special.
well, maybe we'll see them soon.
Yes.
When we're back on the road, when Elar's made his decision, we should. I mean, I don't know how we're going to get Grinks to go there, but we should go to Neloon. We should. I think that might be a good idea.
Oh, yes. I'd definitely like to see it. I definitely want to see, even if it's from a distance, I'd love to see a grey-skinned noble. I'd love to see a festival, carnival. And there's no, like,
Sorry.
there's no, like, death dances.
No, what? Sorry.
Yeah, death dances.
What are death dances?
Oh, it's like I was saying in the week, where you go dancing, work out which of the people dancing is the least good. Death dance.
Okay, I think I know where this is going. How does a death dance end?
Well, slightly fewer people going to drink afterwards.
I'm guessing the loser isn't as alive as they were at the beginning.
Oh, yeah, depends on the atmosphere, doesn't it?
Just like
Yeah.
slightly fewer people.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
I mean-
we don't do death dancing.
I mean, you dance. You still dance.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's dancing, just without the dying bit.
Brings a whole new term to the song "Murder on the Dance Floor."
Oh yeah. Big
Feel
song,
that one percolating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well, they have those in the more sort of posh, the blue-blooded type dancers.
Oh dear.
Fine. I was very good at it.
I can tell.
You're
because
just
you're
still
breathing.
alive. Oh
mean-
god.
I used to be pretty good at dancing too, actually.
Oh,
Ah. Right. What I'm gonna do
Part of my
is
job.
it was part. Yeah. Right.
yeah, I think that conversation's going to go on a little while.
As
Mhm.
you're having this conversation, we're going to jump on over to Grinks, who you appear at the arcane gate. What was it called again? This is the arcane gate, isn't it?
Vaguely rings a bell.
The arcane gateway. You appear at the you walk over to the arcane gateway. You do have to after looking around, you eventually get someone to get you to cross over the bridge. The land bridge doesn't just pop up every now and then. You actually have to get someone who knows the spell. So eventually you manage to flag
How far
someone
is it
down.
across?
You'd have to swim it.
Too far for a misty step.
No, you could Misty Step it.
I just Misty Step it. I'll say it fell off.
You Misty Step it, and you get across to the arcane gateway where Maldor is partially expecting your arrival. And as you walk in, and he sort of sees you walking through the door, he's like, I was wondering when you were going to turn up, and I was beginning to think that you might have backed out of wanting the book, which would be a shame because I've even put a bow on it for you.
I'll smile. I'll toss him the pouch of gems, as agreed.
Oh, thank you very much. Are you ready to get to work on some of these spell scrolls?
Yes. Yep. Put me to work. Tell me what you want.
Well, first of all, before we begin, I just need to know what spells you know and what spells you have prepared today. In which case, then I can sort of give them a rank and tell you which ones I would like you to scribe onto the scrolls. Some will be of varying difficulty, and if this isn't something that you've done a lot of yourself, and of course, within this amount of time, it will take you the day to do probably what I'm asking of you, which was to be expected anyway. What spells do you have prepared today?
So do you want me to just read them out for you? So I've got a bunch of 3rd level spells. I've got a 4th level spell. So the 3rd ones that I've got prepared is Fireball, Melf's Meteors, Haste, Sending. 4th level is Polymorph and Dimension Door. 2nd level is Enlarge. That's the only one that I've got there. And then I've got Mage Armor, Chromatic Orb, and Shield, plus cantrips.
Well, the cantrips they're fine. I have plenty of cantrips, and honestly, most people that come in for special spell scrolls have cantrips.
Yeah. I mean, I've also got Levitation and Dispel Magic, so depending mechanically on how you wanted to work it, Phil, I can cast them once per day without needing them prepared because of Drowhigh Magic. So
that's fine. Yes, you would be allowed to scribe those as well, or to scribe those as well. Well, how about, because I know it's going to take at least 3 hours for those 3rd level spells, and Sending is one that I get a lot of people coming through, and obviously I don't have 3 hours of my own time always to be committed to scribing up a Sending spell onto a scroll. So if you could do me a couple of Sending spells onto some scrolls, and you have Polymorph, don't you? Did you say? I would very much like one of those polymorphs as well. They're fun. Some people like those, especially the hunters. They always seem to have a good time when they've got a polymorph spell prepared with them. For today, 2 Sending scrolls, please, and 1 polymorph, if that's okay.
Show me where the ink and the paper is.
Right over here, and he takes you over. There's a desk already prepared. It's actually it's a scribing desk, so it actually has the magical ink, all the actual fine paper that you would need to scribe scrolls on, and it even has it has a book of spells on there as well, which is actually his book, or a copy of his spell book that he keeps there to do scribing. He kind of takes that one off and kind of places it just behind and says, you can rest your spellbook on here just to copy them down. Obviously, let me know when you're done. I expect it to take it should take quite a while. And just in game terms, it's 3 hours for a 3rd level spell to be scribed.
I think mechanically I get it quicker because of it being evocation.
Okay.
So because that's my speciality. The one that's going to take the time is the polymorph because that's transmutation.
Okay, so that one will definitely take you the 2 hours because is it level 2 polymorph? What level? Oh, level 4 polymorph. Okay, so you get an hour and a half each for the sendings, and the polymorph will take you the 4 hours then. So it's going to take you 7 hours in total to complete.
It's a full day's work.
It's a full day's work. So we're going to get you on with that. So what I'd like you to do for the sending spells, you're going to make some rolls. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to make an intelligence check, please.
Arcana, because
So it's intelligence. It's intelligence arcana, and I would like you to add your proficiency to that because it's your evocation.
Okay, so that's 18 on dice plus 6 plus 3.
Okay, that is a very everything right down to your calligraphy is beautiful on this first scroll that you scribe. You've got it right down. You're able to sort of wrap it and you tie it in a bow and place it within it's like a little tub to the side which has other spell scrolls in there as well. Lots with different like ribbons on them, and you actually notice there's different coloured ribbons for each scroll. With it, did you say sending? Is it evocation? Did you say actually what is sending? Is it evocation?
I wrote it down as evocation, so I'll go check it because it's in the Discord channel.
I don't know if sending is evocation.
Well, I wrote it down, so let's have a look. Sending. Evocation, school evocation.
Oh, right, okay. I don't know why it was... sorry, I'm thinking of something else. Yeah, sorry, don't worry. Yeah, it is evocation. So, yeah. That's the first one. And so you wrap that in a red bow, or in a red ribbon. And you go to do your second sending. So another intelligence roll, please. Difficulty slightly easier this time because...
it was 12 on dice, so slightly less, so still... 18, 21.
21, yeah. It's it was an easier difficulty as well. You're basically just copying and just basically going with the motions of doing exactly the same thing, and you just tie it around, give it a red ribbon.
Me tap with 3rd level spells for the day.
Okay, and now you can do the polymorph, please. This is going to take you the longest time, and it is going to. You don't add your proficiency this time.
So it's just pure intelligence.
It's intelligence plus arcana still, but you don't add your proficiency bonus to this one.
So I've got 2 pips in arcana. So what do I add? Tell me what you want me to add.
2 pips. So does that mean you've got expertise in that?
Yes, I do.
So
yes.
You don't add the pip. Sorry. So yeah. So that means that you've got proficiency in arcana. So you're not going to add your proficiency to this at all. So it's straight intelligence.
Okay, so 14 on dice plus 3 which is just raw intelligence. So 17.
Okay. 17. Over the next 4 hours, you manage to sort of like get your way through scribing polymorph. And 1 second. Okay. And yeah, you appear to do a pretty good job at it. You find a blue ribbon, which is the one for that particular school of magic, and you tie it around and you place it in the pot to the side with the rest of the scrolls. You're feeling a bit tired and weary. Your hand aches from writing and dipping and writing and dipping, and you're sort of feeling a bit. And as you get up, you've been arched over for the last 7 hours as well. He'll have been bringing you some like hot tea while you've been drinking, so you're not thirsty or anything like that. Although you're probably feeling a little bit of a hangover because the alcohol's going out of your system. You do manage to you have managed to do your first day's work and you've scribed those 3 scrolls. He says, I'm going to be shutting up shop in about an hour. So if there's, you can always make some purchases while you're here. If you want, feel free to take the book now, as long as you don't skip town. I'm okay with you taking the book for now, as long as you you seem trustworthy. So as long as you agree to
payment on delivery, that's the agreed terms.
So you don't want the book now.
I really want the book now. I really, really want the book now. But I'm a terrible timekeeper. It'll keep me on task.
Fair enough. And he takes it and he places it back into a little locked box behind his desk and slides it under. Says,
I'll hand over my spell book to him. Any requests for tomorrow? I'm better at the evocation spells.
Okay, let me have a look. And he starts flicking through.
So evocation is fireball, meteors, haste, sending, dragon's breath.
he kind of giggles at Dragon's Breath. What level is that one?
Second.
Second. He kind of giggles at Dragon's Breath and says, "I know a few people that would get a kick out of that one. Definitely a couple of those. Fireball, that'll attract a few customers. Always does. Everyone always just wants to cast Fireball. I don't know what I don't really get the appeal myself. But we'll take a couple of Dragon's Breath and Fireball. We'll have a hot day tomorrow." And he closes the book.
Sounds good.
And as he's closing the book, he kind of flicks a few pages and he kind of stops his fingers and opens the book. What's going on this page? He kind of looks around, places his hand on. It's like, obviously one stored the Mage Hand spell, but
Well, it was the ledger domain part of that. I don't know what's happened to that.
and what do you mean?
It's been a while since I've used it, and there's spells missing from my book and my memory.
Have you been
I don't know how
under
to
the
cast-
influence of any magical memory spells of late?
There was one in the Feywild a little while ago, a few weeks.
Yeah,
I'm
but
sure I've used the spell since then, I'm not sure.
it might have something to do with that. Although you do look a bit peaked. You a heavy drinker?
Heavy is a strong term. I'm going to look very bashful and guilty at this.
There are several different reasons as to why a mage might forget or not be able to use certain magics. It could literally be anything from forgetting skills whilst acquiring new ones. It could be a problem with substance abuse. I've seen many wizards. There was a wizard that came through here once from Illyria. I can't remember his name, but he had issues with substance abuse, and let's say that he forgot a few spells from his book as well. Just whatever it is, just I don't know. Maybe find out what it is. It might be good for you. It might not be. But
It's on my to-do list. Our companion, the gnome, is a cleric. He's quite schooled in medicine, so my plan is once I'm finished up here with you, I'm going to go and have a word.
it's a good idea. It's how long have you been a student of the arcane arts?
Since I was 20?
So, a
A
decade
few
or so?
years. I'm much older than I look. I did a rather long stint in the Feywild.
Other reasons for forgetting spells is lack of use. Like you said before, it's and like I mentioned, forgetting one skill can sometimes lead to getting better skills. So perhaps there's a balance here. Just keep an eye on it.
Thinking face
Thank you.
manage like
And
skin
I'm
tone.
going to offer in my hand, like, first genuine offer of kind of gratitude and thanks.
I'll
Well,
see you
let me just-
tomorrow.
Louding Aratith Whitewood said, rolling on the floor laughing.
Sorry, I'm getting Discord messages through to me. So he says, see you tomorrow, bright and early, and you leave for the day.
Okay.
Right. I'm going to bring a slow conclusion to. I'm going to end a little bit early because it's coming up to 9 o'clock. I'm not going to end the whole thing. I'm just going to end the actual game, and I don't want it to be too much of a cliffhanger because of other players. But is there anything anyone else wants to accomplish at the moment? It is actually, unless Raljin and Sal have been doing something for the rest of the day, just horsing around. I don't know.
I mean, maybe Sal will agree or not, but they've been swapping stories about how they grew up. The
Yeah.
society.
Yeah, just having a nice sort of chill day.
Yeah, chilled out, just buying sausage rolls and yeah, they make nice sausage rolls in Elladell. It's nice. Um, excuse me. Bloody cough. So yeah, you have a bit of a chilled out day. You don't actually hear from Ayla and Maureen for the rest of the day. It appears that they've been at the Chrysanthemum Chateau, and they've spent the day there. That's where Maya lives, and it's actually it's Ayla's old house where he used to live with his mother. So I don't know, they're probably doing something there out of story wise. The day comes to a nice conclusion, a nice end, and you'll probably go back to the Blushing Branch Inn, have some tea, and rest up for the rest of the day. I am going to end tonight's session there, guys, if that's all right. If that's okay. I don't want to do too much without the other guys, and I think it's just a nice little roleplay session with lots came out of that, which was really nice. So thank you. Thank you to Domesticated Moss and everyone else that's watched today. If you want to stick around, because I think maybe we could hang around for just half an hour, we're gonna have I'll take a little 5-minute break if that's all right, guys, because I really need the toilet, and a drink. And then if we come back in 5 minutes, have a little, just a little chat about what's gone on in the campaign this year, and have a little bit of a trip down memory lane. If that's all right, guys, yeah. And feel free to stick around for that, Moss, and you can tell us what your favourite parts have been if you like. Right, gonna go to a break, so 5-minute break, and when we come back, we'll have a little a reminisce of the campaign over the last year.
Ooh.
So T, P, and well, there's gonna be no K, because not unless I'm that really cruel, but we'll see.
Merry
I
Christmas.
thought you were about to say not unless like some illegal ketamine or something.
I'll see you in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome back to Call It Crits. The game is finished, but we are not for at least the next 20 minutes. I feel we could just have a little bit of a chat and a little bit of a recap of the campaign so far and the year that's gone by, because I can't believe that we've been nearly 2 years on this, haven't we? On this whole campaign. It's like I'm trying to remember.
Months. 3 months in game. It's about three and a half months in game.
Yeah. In game, it's been about 3.5 months. In real life, it's been nearly 2 years since we started. And I think, we've done like quite a lot of big changes in 2022, haven't we? Really? Because it's obviously some of our members have gone off and had children, and well, I say one of our members has gone off and had a child.
I was going to say.
We've gained members, we've lost members, we've had one shots, we've one shot.
Yeah, I know, Fran, that you were a little anxious about joining us because I was the only person you really knew here.
You're one of us now.
Yeah.
You guys are all so awesome, and like it's actually been such a pleasure to game with you because you're all so like freaking talented at the role play, and just it's been lovely, and I've really enjoyed it.
Well, we've really enjoyed having you. It's you blend really, really nice with the group as well, Fran. So it's you really blend really nice with the group, and
I think that's what I like about this group, because for anyone who is watching, Simon Aylar was getting back into D&D
after decades.
And
he hadn't played in so long.
He was to begin with, he was a little unsteady on his feet when it came to the roleplay stuff, but he's really embraced Aylar. It's really, he just throws everything into every decision Aylar makes.
One thing I remember sort of like Simon doing a lot in the early days of coming back to it, he was mentioning his backstory a lot. I think he still does, actually. He's like, I'm a child of two worlds. I grew up in the underworld. And he mentions it a lot because that's what he's got written down in his character sheet. And he's learned to loosen up a bit more with that. And I love some of the moments that Aylar specifically has had. Like, for example... The P in the chucking the piss pot around the room just to try and find invisible grinks. Or there was the time when you were talking with the fairy dragon, and they showed an illusion of Osiren, and even I think Simon thought that Osiren was there. And not let alone Aylar, so he immediately pulled out his sword and like, whoa, careful guys, he's dangerous. And I swear he was going to attack it. But it was.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was really funny.
Oh yeah, that was.
I wouldn't have known that he didn't like he wasn't as into the roleplay, because by the time I joined, like,
it wasn't
my first meeting with you guys. I was like, oh gosh, Aylar's the himbo of the group.
Yes, absolutely.
He's really going for it. He's really going for the himbo. That's really good.
Yeah. It's very different to he's very different, but yet very similar to Simon in real life. Simon's he's an intelligent guy.
He's
Simon.
very earnest.
He's very earnest. Yeah, and but he's a very.
The smartest people I know are the most himbo.
Yeah. But he's a very intelligent guy. He's one of those people that he likes to drink. Does Simon? But he's one of these people that gets Professor Simon on you when he's had a bit of a drink. He gets a little bit more clever, and it's like, where's all this stuff coming from? But no,
I think haven't we had a bit of that in game? I remember him once. I don't know if it was before we started the stream or not, but one of the first things he said to us that night was, I've had a couple of drinks, and we could not get him to stop talking.
Yes. Yeah, he doesn't stop talking. But he came up with some really good roleplay points in that game as well, whether he remembers it or not. but that was he's really funny. Is Simon? I really like Simon. I've been friends with Simon for God, it must have been about 14 years now. I've known Simon, so for a long time. And to be honest, up until the last couple of years, I thought he was just all about football. I didn't realise he was into board games and D&D and stuff like that. So that was a pleasant surprise, to be honest.
Funny how those sports ball people can surprise you.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, those sports ball people. There's a lot of depressed sports ball people at the moment, isn't there? But we're not going to talk about England being knocked out of the World Cup. Let's not do that. This is nerdy D&D, damn it.
Yeah.
No,
but yeah,
people need to watch a proper sport. I'm sorry, I'm just saying.
What,
I
golf?
need to get that out.
And by proper sport, do we mean
Quidditch.
Rugby. Proper sport.
Rugby?
I knew what you meant. I wish I didn't, but I knew what you meant.
I knew what you meant. I was trying to go skirt around the subject, but so I'm going to ask you guys individually. I'm going to start with Jay. What's been your favourite moment of the campaign since the beginning of the year? And bear in mind, I have no idea what happened at the beginning. I can't remember what at the beginning, but since in most recent memory.
I would say from a player's standpoint, I'm going to give you two. So one from a player's standpoint, one from a character standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
From a player's standpoint, Dondon's death with Barmut showing up. That was was crisp. That from a storytelling perspective, that gave me goosebumps. I loved that.
Yeah.
So for Fran's benefit, my old character was the Goblin Rogue, who was adopted by the Silver Dragon, and he didn't know he was a Silver Dragon until the campaign started. Well, about halfway through the first year of the campaign.
Yeah.
And when he passed, Phil had this absolutely beautiful moment where, Barmut came and brought him home. And it was really, really sweet. It was a really bittersweet goodbye, and it was really well done. Honestly, it was fantastic. If you ever get the chance, I think we were streaming at the time.
I think we were actually. Yeah.
If you flick back and have a look through that, it was just absolutely amazing how Phil did that. I loved that.
That was one of my favorite. I quite like that one because it was depicted as the old man with the you saw the figure of an old man and 7 what looked like canaries flying around him, didn't you? Which...
As player knowledge, I knew what that was. In character knowledge, I had no idea what was going on. But it was so well done. I loved that. And I think from a character standpoint, the bit that was the most fun to play was the mimics.
Oh yeah.
When again, it's a Korvax moment rather than a Grinks moment, but it was. So again, for Sal's benefit, I was playing a rogue, and I'd snuck off from the party when we was in this tavern, and we had a lead chasing this mimic potion, and I'd ended up going down into the subterranean part, which was the Thieves Guild bar, and into their kind of stables, if you would, and I'd found this mimic potion, and rather than do anything else with it, I thought, I'll just stab the barrels and make them drain away, and then I can make my escape. So that the bad guys don't get the mimic juice, and I get out of there. It turns out I made a mimic tavern and created a whole sub-race of what will become changelings at some point in Phil's story.
Oh no, mimic born. Yeah. Not changing. They're going to be completely different. These are going to be, I say homebrew race, but they're someone's homebrew race. I wish I'd thought of it. Unfortunately, when I typed in Mimicborn into Google, someone's already done it. But yeah, Mimicborn are basically changelings, but they have more of an ability to change into inanimate objects. So yeah, Mimicborn are going to be a thing in the future.
I am so sad that this Apocalypse one-shot did not have that as an option.
Well, to be honest, I'm swaying backwards and forwards between Valantia and carrying on with Accalia. And if I do carry on with Accalia, Fran, Mimicborn will be a choosable race if you wish to choose it.
But if we carry on Accalia, that's where I want to play my next character, who you all know about.
Sunny.
That is true, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you play in Arcalia, I do already have a character lined up, so my
I
backup
have
character.
I've just looked back through. We've been streaming for 6 months on here.
Have we?
So yeah, 6 months we've been streaming for. Well, that's at least that's how long I've been placing them on YouTube. For 6 months, so it might be slightly longer than 6 months because I've been downloading them and then uploading them. And the first stream we had, the first episode of the stream was infiltrating the Infernals.
That's after the Mirrored Gorge.
So it is after the Mirrored Gorge, unfortunately.
yeah.
So yeah, unfortunately, that particular session is gone. Lost into just it will be placed for just forever in our memories.
There you go. So that I would say that's my favorite moments. I mean, my favorite Sal moment has to be the Thorn Cellar. That was amazing. Just completely getting ALR off on the wrong foot there, and then there was the pooping darkness thing around the tree. That was fun.
Yeah.
Favorite Ral Jin moments, actually, probably when we was fighting Herion the first time, when he managed to hit him with that Nat 20.
Oh
From
yeah.
like 120 yards away. That was just absolutely outstanding.
I know,
That was.
I'm so disappointed in that, because if my damage roll had just been that little bit higher, I would have finished him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just that little bit higher.
Yeah. And that was without plot armor as well.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. So my favourite Garoth moment would have been the Green Dragon kind of like early doors.
Oh,
that was
yeah,
good.
That was like one of
Session
6
4 or
7.
something.
Yeah.
It was really early doors.
So
I mean,
we started level 1, didn't we? And
Yes.
he nearly KO'd a Green Dragon.
He did nearly
On his
KO, and no,
Legit.
not on his own. It
No,
wasn't
not
on his own. The Green Dragon was also fighting an adult Silver Dragon, and who
Eventually.
Eventually. He never came close to killing it, but it could have come. It was one of those ones where I was thinking, do I roll the dice here and actually kill him? Because I could have done. I honestly could have done. But at the time, I knew that the specific moment was going to have a Deus Ex Machina in it. Because I would never knowingly place you up against an adult Green Dragon as level 1 characters without giving you some sort of get out, because it was more of a story moment than a battle moment, if you know what I mean. I
like how you've said knowingly, as if you could accidentally throw us against a green dragon. Like, you have no control over what's happening here.
I wouldn't be
God.
surprised if we haven't met other dragons in the campaign that we don't know are dragons.
I love the idea that now that you know that you've character knowledge, you know that dragons can change shape, so you can assume that anybody can be a dragon, which is very similar to obviously with the mimics as well. You had a lot less, not much trust for anything.
For about 3 months, we were just stabbing random inanimate objects.
Oh dear.
I love it.
And then I think the best Mulrin moment, I mean, Ash has had so many good ones,
Oh yeah.
but probably the conversation with King Fungi, I thought that was really done well with.
Oh
with Ash.
yes. Anything involving mushrooms, I think Ash seems to be really good at. I don't know why. It's he seems to have this thing about mushrooms.
Well, the less said about that.
But no, his last character was kept alive by this mushroom.
Yeah. That's true, actually.
So I'm just going through my phone and looking at dates of when we started. Hang on. So we started this particular campaign. Is it then? No, it's first DMD back.
It was during lockdown, wasn't it?
Yeah, lockdown 1.
Yeah. So God, yeah.
I think we started off on Skype, didn't we?
Yeah.
Because you created this Discord channel in. Let's have a look.
So, Mike's last session.
Well, we
so
tried
we
Messenger as
started.
well.
Yeah, we did. We started this on the 16th of February, 2021. So,
Wow.
yeah.
And we started this Discord server on the 25th of March, 21.
So yeah, the February 2021 was when this all began. So that is So in February 2023, it'll obviously be 2 years.
We'll have to do like a special episode.
A special episode. Yeah. So if I go through here, so the 14th. Valentine's Day will be our 1 year our 2 year anniversary. Unfortunately, I will not be running a game on Valentine's Day. Sorry, darling. I'm going to play Dungeons and Dragons rather than have a date night with you.
Yes, I realised why that would be a bad thing. Yes, fair enough.
Yeah, the wife might not be happy about that.
Yeah.
He could be a guest character. Come on.
Get them involved.
Come on, darling. This is we share each other's hobbies.
Phil, when you told me that we were going to engage in some roleplay tonight, this isn't what I had in mind.
Oh no.
Okay,
but
so
the 21st of February will likely be when we do our 2 year anniversary game of that particular year. So let's go to Rob. Rob, what's been your favourite moments?
My favourite moments, I'd say probably it's an early one, but Gareth, as a player, Gareth getting addicted to chocolate.
Oh, that was amazing. You need context. You can't just say that.
Okay, so
that particular episode was great as well. That particular session.
That started. Was that the session where we were a couple of players down, so we had the day at the races? Was that the same?
Yeah, it was a little bit like tonight's session. There's a couple of players down, so I had to really quickly write a session that was going to be just not much happening. Yeah.
So I honestly don't remember I don't remember how we got to the sweet shop. Only that Korvax bought. Was it Korvax bought Gareth the odds and ends, the misshapes?
Yes, pretty much.
And Gareth somehow had never tried chocolate before in his life.
Mm-hmm.
And he had some, and he loved it. And he was unaware that it was highly sugary and highly addictive, and he just gorged himself on chocolates.
And then Kovacs bought him more.
Yep.
And then there was the point. I think the funniest thing that I thought that led on from that was a few sessions later, where you guys were tracked through the woods by Alar's old compatriots and Sanroma and the other guy. I can't remember his name now. He's dead now, but not because of Gareth, but because of Osiren. But and they stole the chocolates out of Gareth's bag, and Gareth found out and just went on a rampage and nearly beat the guy to death. All because of the chocolates, which I found was hilarious.
Went into a chocolate rage.
Mm.
Yes.
Yeah. A sugar rage. Yeah. A crash.
Nice.
I think the most emotional moment that I've had in the campaign was it was either the moment in the hallway in the Feywild where Ralgin and Future Alan are talking. First they're talking on the other sides of the door, and then she comes out, and there's that moment. Or it's when they're saying goodbye and he's trying to convince her to come back to the present with him. I thought those were really.
I agree with you on that one as well, because I can honestly say that as a dungeon master, I found that hard.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, God.
I think I got really into character on that one.
Yeah.
I was
That's one of
actually
my
welling up.
favourites as well.
I was actually welling up during that one. I was
Yeah, same. I was gonna say that as one of my favourite things as well.
yeah.
As for
The scenes
Sal,
between Raljan
yeah,
and
Mm.
Future Roland is just beautiful.
and as for Sal, I've got to say, you've not given us a lot to work with yet, but I kind of love that because it makes sense for the character. And what I liked was in this session is Sal taking those steps to try and open up a bit more. That was quite fun to play. Just now, with Raljan trying to learn more about what has been left behind, and I did enjoy that.
Yeah.
With Sal also wanting to learn what could be gained.
Mm.
Yeah.
Ayla, just any time Ayla meets a family member and he tries to figure out whether he wants a relationship with them or not, and never seems to come away knowing the answer.
He's always very confused about the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
And Mulrin, I don't know. Mulrin as a character, Raljan. This is obviously player knowledge, but Raljan doesn't fully trust him
Mm.
because it's
The
this
snakes.
idea. It's not the snakes. It's this idea of he wants to control knowledge that Raljan is not super thrilled about,
Mm.
because in real world terms, yes, the wrong knowledge in the wrong hands is a dangerous thing. But Raljan, it's a snooting ability side of him, is wondering what gives Mulrin to decide the right to decide who knows what. Like, how is that his decision to make?
Mm. Maybe that's something that might come into play a few sessions down the line.
Yeah.
It's definitely been interesting. Ash has kept his cards very close to his chest pretty much all campaign.
He generally does. I think with Watu was a little in previous campaign. Watu was a bit more open than,
much,
but not much more. Yeah, it's an interesting play with it. I like Ash as a player because he always gives me really interesting things to work with within the background. But he himself is also a very good storyteller. In some ways, actually, to be honest, in a lot of ways, Ash is a better storyteller than me as the dungeon master. And sometimes when he goes on with comes out with these little anecdotes and stories, I love just turning off my microphone and letting him go with that, because I get entertainment out of that as well. I love it. I think it's absolutely amazing. I love it when any of you do it, especially when I've got a few moments that I want to share as well. But I love it when any of you do it, because it's for me, I get that, because it's really nice when you guys are involved in the world that we've helped to build, and it makes me feel really proud of myself that I've kind of lit that fire a little bit for you, and it's really nice.
And
Sorry, go on.
The last thing I'd like to say is I did enjoy playing a bit of a grumpy, bit of a more withdrawn character, someone who's less eager to please and is more out for himself. That was quite entertaining.
That was. It was pretty good accent there. Yeah.
Well, I
That
figured
was
out
in
how
our
to do it.
in our one shot.
Yeah, I figured out how to do it now. Basically, if I say to myself, "Trolley a basket," then I can just keep the accent going. After that,
Fair enough.
No.
See, I can
found that really
slip.
interesting. Yeah, I found that one shot really interesting because I thought I would love Barbarian, and mechanically I hated it.
Yeah.
Like, Phil, you have broken me. I don't want to play anything else other than Wizard now.
It's because you've played Spellcaster. You see, the thing is, I don't want to ever play a wizard. I think wizards are complicated, and to be honest, even as like a dungeon master, wizards are challenging because I've got to find ways for you to up your spells and things like that aren't just you leveling up and suddenly knowing spells. I've kind of got to give you opportunities to learn more spells. I'm kind of hoping that you'll bite the bait, because you're currently in a spell shop and there is a spell book available to you.
I'm hoping I'm going to earn some trust, and I've got a stack of paper, a spell book from a more seasoned spellcaster, and ink and time.
Exactly.
I just need a couple of days to get for him to trust me, and then you know what, he can go out and I can manage just doing what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then hopefully copy down a few things that might be interesting.
Exactly. So, okay, Fran, what have been your favourite moments since you joined this happy little group?
So obviously, I haven't had as long. So a lot of mine are going to be a lot more recent. Okay, so for Raljin, I was going to say the interaction between him and Future Relan was so beautifully done, and that was the point when I realized, like, you guys really go for it with the role play. Because I was in tears, and I was like, "This is all I want to do."
Yes.
So that was my favorite Raljin moment, and I know it's already been said, but I wanted to.
Yeah, no, that's
so
a
good.
great moment.
And I think if I was going to go for another Raljin one, just in general, like in the fight, like there's a load of badass moments and stuff. But there was one, I think, where Raljin was like possessed or like mind controlled and was like helping the enemy. We were like, what's happening?
I can't remember when that one was actually.
It was like some tree nymph or something.
Oh yes, yeah.
I can't. But yeah, that's my other one for Raljin. For Grink, it's definitely got to be when he dimension doored into the heart of a giant.
Oh yes.
So that he could fireball it from the inside out.
I forgot about that. Holy crap! Yeah, that was.
And then when you left the battle, you had 1 hit point.
Yeah.
And then you like fell or something, and like you were so close to being knocked out at the end. We were just there like, oh god, this is how Raljin dies doing something stupid. That was my favorite Grink. Not Raljin, but
Grinks. Yeah.
That was my favorite Grink moment. See, I'm trying to think of my favorite Mulrin moment because I haven't had as much time with Mulrin. I'd say it's just in general, just Ash's way of playing him.
Yes.
I really like, and I don't have a specific moment because it's more of like just an air.
I would 100% agree, because there's definitely something when Ash isn't there to the group balance.
Yeah, he's kind of like almost like a Yoda.
Yeah. He is a little bit like a Yoda. Yeah.
No, he definitely, adds, and you miss him when he's not there.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
It definitely felt okay. My favorite moment was when he came back and he had the armor, and literally all of us were like, "Oh, thank God you're here!"
Yeah.
It's been awful.
Oh dear.
And Ayla, I mean, again, so many, but him interacting with the crab seller and
my cabbages.
My cabbages. Yeah, all of that have been really good. And my favorite, just overall, for Sal, is their biggest character moment was during the fight underwater.
Yes.
And then coming to the surface and their mask coming off. And instead, like, them kind of expecting just derision and like, oh, gross, what's this thing? And Ayla just going like, "Oh, that was so cool! Like you're my brother now," and Self just like this emotional wreck. And then you hit me with the, "Oh, you can't breathe."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So literally, like all of this, like, "Oh yes, everyone's gonna have questions," and then it's like, "Oh, never mind, I'm dying."
That was I did like that. You stole my favorite Sal moment there actually, because the underwater moment and that moment where you like I think I've got some moments to share, but that bit
Yeah.
there where Sal begins to feel the acceptance and that integration into the party, I think that has been some of the best damn role play and natural progression of a character I think ever.
Yeah.
I think it's just so good, so good.
I really invested in a slow burn character, and that was when it started to pay off.
Yes, absolutely.
It's like, oh yes, they're learning. Finally.
Oh, it's fun. No, it really is. It's really good. So yeah, fantastic.
So what are yours?
Mine. Right. Okay. So obviously I'm going last. So a lot of you guys have said some of the ones that I liked. But my favourite Grinks moment, I'm going to go right back to when you very first time you met the party, and it was I poop darkness, and that was the first time you ever said it, and the first time it ever came up, and it's one of those moments where it just gets me laughing so much I have to turn off my microphone because I can't stop laughing, because it was a great. Because I'm thinking I can just see this. This is going to be a thing that's always going to happen, and it has. So the Grinks' "I poop darkness" catchphrase has continued, which I think is amazing. Less and less now, though. One thing I love about the character of Grinks is and the player Jay, you're not afraid to let me fuck with you, basically.
Oh, I love it. I love it. The more you fuck with me, the better. The more fun I have.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm looking forward to fucking with you more in the future. So yeah. Anyway, but yeah, that was my favourite Grinks moment. On top of dimension dooring into the heart of a giant and many other things. Getting excited about finding his magic carpets and other things. Oh, and enlarging the freaking ogre mock. That was one of my most I wouldn't say favourite Grinks moments, but definitely one of my most memorable Grinks moments, because it made me as the dungeon master think, right, okay, what am I going to do here? And it's nice when, for example, as a dungeon master, to be kept on your toes, especially with things like that. Raljin moment, it's gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to say the favourite one. It's that interaction with future Relan. For me, as a dungeon master, and just as a player in the game, it was that really heartfelt moment where it was like it genuinely felt genuine, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
In the whole thing, and it added a lot. I felt a lot of depth from Raljin at that point as well, on how he feels about his sister and home and everything else.
The thing about the twins, about Rajan and Ralan, is that although they have a level of acceptance, because they're raised by good people, they're from a good place, or two good places, they are still half-breeds, they are still outcasts in a way, so they clung to each other probably a little bit as kids. Like, no one else could really understand them the same way. So that was what I was trying to channel in that moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I got from that as well is I got a really good understanding of that relationship between the two characters as well. And even though it was a different version of Relan, it makes me have a better understanding of the current version of Relan as well. Yeah. Which is really good. So yeah, that was a beautiful moment. So yeah,
a notable mention there as well. So it was before the mimic thing where we failed. the development of Raojin having that kind of wobble, because he's always been the optimistic, bright-eyed, kind of moral compass of the group, and to see Rob play that character to be shaken, as much as I don't want us to quote unquote lose, I'd be interested to see how current Raojin, with the progress we've had, would deal with another wobble like that, an actual loss.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. This is partly why I want to go to the Underdark and experience that side of things, because he has only ever experienced what his parents has wanted him to see. He's got a very romanticized version of even the bad stuff. Like, how, you know how in when you're a kid in fairy tales and things, even the bad guys, you don't imagine coming to face in real life with the evil queen from you're never going to be prepared for that.
No.
Oh gosh, I never thought of it like that. Like, it's genuinely like the reason he's asking is because it's just almost like, oh wow, like that's so cool, almost. I never thought of it that way. That's so good.
So he's like, if he's ever unfortunate enough to experience true Drow society, it's gonna really mess with him. It's really gonna mess with him.
So one thing that I like about Raljin as a character is the fact that a lot of the things that, like what you've just said, a lot of the things that he knows about adventuring is from stories that he's heard from his mother and father, and from the rest of the Wandering Wolves. So whenever he's met them, and they'll have told the good side of that. They'll have told the heroic, because you'll have been kids when you've heard most of these stories. So they'll have told these heroic stories of when they've saved towns or even the continent at times, or when they've been on these epic adventures and fought monsters and beasts, and it all sounds so exciting. But actually being in it and being in the thralls of that, and actually having to putting Raljin into a situation where loss is very much possibility, and devastating loss is very much a possibility. Put it down to, obviously, the loss of Dondon, the very almost loss of your father after he was turned into stone, and
almost he had no way of knowing that he'd be able to get back to the present with Ashino.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. One thing I always like Jay is happy to have terrible things have happened.
Oh yeah.
To Grinks. But what I like is Raljin being put in these situations where he has a chance to make a difference, but what if he fails? How is that gonna mess him up? That's what I
suppose the guilt.
Yeah, that like one of these days, my luck is gonna run out.
Yeah.
And something bad is going to happen, and it will be Raljin's fault. And how is he going to deal with that?
We'll just have to see in future sessions, won't we?
Yeah.
So moving on.
I'm so invested in Raljin.
I know. Me too.
I just want them to be happy. I love it.
I have a lot of favourite Ilar moments. I think the piss pot was definitely one of them, and the crab seller. Watching Simon develop as a player has been one of my favourite things during all of this, because I'm also watching Simon I'm discovering new things about my friend that I've known for 14 years. So it's it's that as well. I think watching him learn from the rest of the party as well, is taking different aspects from other people. He listens to Morin as the wise one. He actually looks up to Raljin, but also I think he's shifting his rivalry. From Garroth, when he had that rival, I think is shifting that to Raljin slightly, but more on an on par level. Which I think is really cool, but more like a brethren kind of way. which I think is really nice. And I really like how he treats the party as family, and he says that, and he's developed that really strong sense of family, and he's almost like that glue that holds the party together as a family. The way that he mentions it, like talks about family as the group, he's the one that I feel like keeps that together, if you know what I mean.
He's the Vin Diesel of Valog.
Yes, he's the Vin Diesel. with just a bit of extra hair. And Maureen's, I think I've got a lot of Maureen moments. My favourite Maureen moment though hasn't happened on stream or like even before stream. It's happened in one of our one-on-one prior to the sessions. While he was on paternity leave, we did a few just chat sessions before him coming back to the game. So what he was doing in the town of Hythe, and discovering different things. He discovered a mine, which I think he's told everybody. He's told the party about. But he discovered a mine where he was looking for a specific item which belongs to the Naga. And he discovered that some of the items, there was an excavation site within this mine, and he wanted to get in there. So when he did two things that I thought was funny because it was his new ability. He used suggestion to first of all make the guard at the front of the mine go and count all the residents of Hythe. So he said, I suggest you go and count all the residents of Hythe. So he did. He went off and did so. And when he eventually got into this, past this illusionary wall and into the room where this excavation was happening on this Naga body and everything, he made a suggestion to one of the guards that he tackle his friend and tell him everything about his childhood. So he did. He tackled his friend and was holding him down, and he started regaling him with tales about his childhood and everything. And whilst I was like, because obviously it wasn't over voice chat, it was over chat. So he was saying, okay, what do I find when I'm doing this? And I said, well, in between hearing the guard tell his friend how he used to wet the bed as a child, you find, and it was a really funny moment, and I really like the creative ways that Ash uses spells. So yeah, I thought that was fun. That was one of my favourite Maureen moments anyway. So yeah, my favourite Sal moment. I'm finish on a Sal moment because there's so many. You've already mentioned the underwater battle where you, rather than swimming to the surface and saving your own skin, actually fired a bolt off to actually save the day. And then there was obviously the moment of like getting out of the water and thinking that you're okay and then not being able to breathe. There's also the fact that you've started to develop your character as time goes on. But one of my favourite moments that actually got me a little bit choked, the way that you role played it, Fran, was at the start of the session, just after Yule had transported you through the trees.
Oh yeah.
And you got on the other side, and everyone else was sort of picking themselves up and sort of dusting themselves off and like thinking, all right, where are we? What are we going to do next? And you were in front of the tree. And you're like, why did he do that? And it was a lot of was coming out about Sal. I was like, talking about like, this is the second time it's happened. You've been thrown through portals and people telling you just to go, and they don't come with you. And I learned a lot about Sal just from that little bit of role playing. I was like, oh my word, like there was, yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, that was really good. Yeah, that was a really good moment.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was a really good moment, and I specifically learned a lot about them at that point, and thinking, all right, okay. So I think in the future, reuniting with Ollist is going to be emotional, and you're going to have to give me some details on the character of Ollist because I need to do that character justice. And
of course there are things that I've told you that are secret and things that are going to be interesting.
Yes.
to roleplay when they happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm of a similar school to Jay in that I am quite happy for you to absolutely traumatize me. So just so you know.
Yeah, don't
Yeah,
worry.
it's
I'm
just-
getting a
Really
feel.
want everything to be okay.
Getting a feel for my characters. One of my favourite moments as a dungeon master, because I like doing epic battles with you guys, and I like to throw in a good epic battle every now and then. And my favourite one has to be riding on the back of Treants through the blood ivy, the blood tipped ivy. Because it was just such a cool battle, because it just felt like everything was moving, and you're all sort of like, hanging on the shoulders and like hitting these tree whatchamacallums. It was, yeah, I loved it. It was a really good one. It felt really cinematic. I think that's what you actually said after that session, didn't you, Fran? That it felt cinematic, and I felt that as well. And yeah, it was a really good moment when you were.
That's one of the things I really love about your DM style is that you're really, I really like how you make, like, especially battles, but also like the role play and everything like that. Like you become so invested in it.
Yeah.
Oh, thank
Like,
you.
It's just so easy to like dive into this world and just become a part of it and get emotionally drained
Yes.
in a good way.
Yeah. Okay, so here's one for us. So, what's your favourite film moment? If we start with you, friend, you seem to be on a roll here. So, what's your favourite film moment?
Oh, I mean, Yule's big sacrifice during the epic fight, like, upsettingly good. All of Raljin's family, just how you play all of Raljin's family, I love them, and I just don't want anything bad to ever happen to them. And just, you have like such odd one shot characters. Like, I can't even think of any like specific, but occasionally you have this little character, and I'm just like, I really want to know more about this character, and then we never see them again. But the Cravages guy is the most obvious one.
Yes.
But there was like a little guy who was sitting behind a desk who was great, and like the shopkeepers. And the shopkeeper in this, the wooden weapons guy.
Wayne.
Fanboying.
I like Wayne.
Yeah, all these tiny little characters, but like they've just got so much heart, and you're like, I just want to talk to them.
I like to try and thread in some possible moments where you can talk to certain interesting characters, and if you do, you do. You don't. But I like it. Yeah. It's interesting to try and develop that depth, just in case, because you have to at least have the rabbit hole there, so that if you decide to dive into the rabbit hole, there's something ready. Take for example, I'm assuming you're intrigued about what's happening with Renoin's husband, Aphrodite,
Renoin's marital problems.
Yes.
This poor woman who's basically married to some terrible dingbat inventor.
And two separate offers of assassinations in like half an hour.
I just thought I'd roll off what Fran had done there. It was
I loved it. And every time she's like,
well, I kind of like the idea that Raljin's playing the straight guy. Kind of. I am by the book. And he's just kind of flanked by two murder drow.
One thing I do like, and I think maybe to begin with, I was probably trying too hard with it, but I do like the idea that at times Raljin is herding cats. It's easier when Mulrin's around. But,
yes.
but when Raljin's left in charge, he's not as capable as he thinks he is, and he's just sat there going, "Guys, please."
When we were in your town, like all of the chaos stuff that was happening with Ayla, what was making it so good was Raljin's reaction. He was like, "I have a reputation." please, people like me in this town. I don't want that to change.
Oh dear.
It's
I'd
so
say
sweet.
one thing I always like that Phil does. It seems to do quite a lot. I don't. Maybe you've got some issues you need to work out, but I like it. I like it when you have two characters. You're playing both of them, and they're arguing.
Yeah.
It's always entertaining. It's,
Oh,
Yeah.
dear.
Yeah,
Do you know what? Actually, it is really hard playing two characters at the same time and have them argue. It's quite a difficult one in itself.
I mean, you do it convincingly, so maybe
Yeah.
maybe there's some therapy needed there. But
No, I don't. Yes, you do. No,
yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
I'm going to jump off the back of both of you guys on that then. It's the characterization of NPCs, but my favourite NPCs is the tragic story of the two guards. The forgotten guards.
Oh, yeah. And they are still forgotten.
Yeah.
This is actually before your time as well, isn't it, Fran? So you
Yeah.
won't know anything about this.
Yeah.
So, to give that a little bit of context, there's a place called the Amora Bastor, which is a forgetful mist that surrounds the city of Verto, which is a hidden druidic city, which actually matches the size of Anera, or the city of Anera, which is hidden within the country of Anera. And the Amora Bastor is it's like a fog where if you look at it, you can see it, you know it exists. But as soon as you turn away, it's like the silence from Doctor Who. You forget all about it. And so what the kingdom did is they built a wall around this. And they placed like one gateway going in. The only problem was they then forgot about it. So there's two guards who are guarding this gateway into this place called the Amora Bastor. This gateway which was built by the kingdom to guard this place called the Amora Bastor. And these two guards have no idea why they're there. And they've been there. They look at it. They sometimes see the mist, and then they as soon as they look away, they forget why they're there. They are literally just there following orders, and they've been there for years.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's so tragic, but it's the characterization. It's
it was
done
great.
so well,
Yeah.
but it doesn't matter whether it's that or whether it's the
Oh, sorry.
what was we doing? We was trolling Simon. It was early doors when we was going to the wizard who told us about the Amora Bastor.
Oh yes,
And
yeah.
there was that guy with the blind date.
Yeah.
And all that set Aylar up as this guy's blind date. And poor Simon was early doors, and I completely blindsided him by this.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't it like, oh yeah, go and ask some people around. Go and ask that guy over there. So Eli went over and to ask this tiefling that he'd seen, and the tiefling was like, I can't remember what the name was, but he said, it's like, are you so and so so and so? And he's like, what? He's like,
Paul Max was like, yes, he is.
yeah. But it turns out this tiefling was waiting for his blind date to turn up, and he didn't know what his blind date looked like, so Eli could have very well been his blind date.
I just remembered something. It was supposed to be a role play thing, but I'm pretty sure by the end of it, it was just Phil and Mike arguing about what is the best crop to grow.
Oh,
Oh God, yes. Okay, so right, yeah. There's context. Context is needed. So
It
Aylar's
definitely
dad.
is.
Right. So Aylar's dad, the big regal star general dude, right? The big gruff arsehole, right? He'd
Aylar's
been
dad.
kidnapped
Yeah.
by Herian, and Yule was involved there as well, and he was supposed to be killed. Yule had basically taken his memories and stored it somewhere in the Amora Bastor, and kept the body of Aylar's dad,
Bronwyn.
alive as a farmer, and
So he'd
Mike was
repurposed
thinking-
him as a farmer basically, and he was working on one of the farms on the outskirts of Verto.
basically he'd completely lost all of his memories. He thought he was a farmer. He was adamant he was this farmer. So he didn't recognise Aylar, nothing like that. And then Mike rocked up as this barbarian kind of tribesman from the north who had grown crops. And there was just this fantastic moment of Mike and Phil arguing about what's the best crop to grow, and it went on for about 25 minutes.
It did. It was this. I was going on about some like radishes, potatoes or radishes. I think it was, and we was having this mass. It generally was role play. It wasn't like an actual argument, but it was a genuine role play moment where
I think by the end of it, Mike was genuinely trying to argue.
he probably was. Mike probably was. I was loving the role play of it, but yeah, that was great. I think the whole thing about getting his memories back was quite a fun one, actually. That was a good story, and how you found out about it was really good, actually, because there was a treasure chest within the middle of the Amorabas store, which is where all of anything that's lost within the Amorabas store, items, people, memories, all eventually end up in this box, and it's almost like a bag of holding. You need to know what you are retrieving from the box in order to get it. And Korvax opened the box and said, this is before you'd found the body of Bronwyn, or the vessel, I guess. You opened the box and you said, Sir Bronwyn Regalstar. And when you opened it up, you pulled out his armor and his sword and everything like that, and then you heard a voice, that sort of this disembodied voice saying, "Help me! Where am I? What is this place?" And it just sort of faded off into the ether, and you thought you'd killed him at that point.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, that was a fun one. Joe, the amount of magical items that were stored in that treasure chest would have been a trove. And it was all random encounters. So any bodies, any monsters, anything that you found within the Amorabas store, I planted clues on all of them. You found a couple of them, but a few of them just completely went by the wayside. But that's just the way the game is played. But yeah, you would have found clues on what to look for in the chest. You actually do have on your person a key to someone's house.
Yeah.
Within an era you've got a key to someone's
In
house.
this town?
No, it's in an era. You're in Eladel.
Oh, okay.
Anera's
yeah.
the
We
city.
don't know where it is.
Yeah, you don't know where the house is, but you do have his notebook, which does have his address. So
We
yeah,
could rob someone.
very possible side quest that you could go on. But yeah, you found some random stuff within that treasure chest. But that was a fun little thing. Yeah. But yeah, lots of fun things that have happened over the last year, and I've just realised it's 10 past 10, and I know that some people will want to go. I wasn't expecting this to be a 9:30 job, but it turned out to last a little bit longer.
Nice trip down memory lane.
It has been a very lovely trip down memory lane, and it's been a really nice year of D&D, and 6 months of streaming, or just a little bit longer than 6 months of streaming, but almost 2 years in total of this campaign, and yeah, I need to get you guys up to level 10 soon. Something's going to happen that's going to get you. It is going to be soon. I envision it being the first couple of weeks within the new year that you'll be leveling up.
I think my one request, and I don't speak for everybody else here, is I'd like a couple more sessions like we've had more regularly, so we can actually have the downtime.
I get that.
Looking at the time span, we've had 3 months together. I mean, the group as it is now has been together less than 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So it'd be really good to actually have that time to get to know the other characters and to integrate Grinks and Sal. So Sal seems to be doing a lot better job than Grinks. I'm going to freely say that.
That's one thing I'm planning on doing whilst you're in Eladel, is give you that time. Because I wanted to give you a base. Even though there's still quite extenuating circumstances that have put you there, it is a safe place. It's safe from the kingdom. It's forgotten by Herion. So it's actually a place where there isn't any threats towards you.
Also, I would like to get our caravan back at some point soon.
Yeah, I want my carpet back. I've used it once.
Your caravan is still at the Iris Oasis, so it's not going to go anywhere. You hid it well before.
We go back and the dire horses have starved to death.
Oh dear! Don't worry. The caravan will be fine. I'm not going to take away probably the greatest magical item I've ever created from you. Okay. That's a fan. I love that. I need to write a stat block for the Starlight Caravan because I love it so much. Yeah, it's a wonderful thing.
I think possibly for next year we need to keep an eye out for catchphrases, and for Christmas next year we all need to do a Secret Santa and get the character's catchphrase on a t-shirt.
On a t-shirt.
So like Black Eye Poop Darkness or something along those lines. So keep an ear out and we'll see what we could do, because I think that would be absolutely hilarious for a Secret Santa.
Yeah, that would be quite
man,
cool.
yeah.
Oh
That would
dear.
be great.
Right. Thank you for
I
anyone that's been watching. We are just going to finish up the stream there, but from all of us at Call It Crits, if you know whatever you're doing over the Christmas period, over the festive time, have a good one. Merry Christmas, have a happy New Year, and we'll see you next year. It's going to be a few weeks, I think. I think it's going to be like a 3-week break, I think, before our next one. So, and I think I've got a couple of new books that the Fat Man's going to be bringing me for Christmas. Fingers crossed. So yeah.
Bill, come on.
Sorry.
Steady on. We'll see you next week. Wow.
Oh dear. So yes, Merry Christmas from us at Call It Crits, and have a happy New Year, and we'll see you in a few weeks. Bye, everybody.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.